Kevin, Rand, Catherine, Jill. I'm going to stand a little closer to the camera. Okay, can you hear my breathing? I'm I'm trying to breathe loudly so you can hear that. All right? The breathing and the yin and yang cycles go together. Don't make it mechanical. It's a little looser than that. But in general, when you wind up, you breathe in. When you're in the yin phase, you breathe in. And then when you unwind, you breathe out. All right? Now that works both ways. If you find yourself breathing in, you should be in a yin phase. So it should give you a clue, all right? You're in yin. When you breathe out, you're in yang. Yin, yang, yin, yang, yin, yang. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Now so there's four of them there in that first that first bar of the first section, but they're not all the same. The first one is like, boy, it's hardly a breath at all. Just a little bit. This one's big. This one's not quite as big, but it's still big. And this one's getting on the small side of medium. Right? Does that make sense? Can you feel that when you do it? Jill, let me see you do it.
Okay. You want me to breathe loudly enough so you can hear?
Breathe loudly, yes.
Okay.
Good. All All right, and Catherine. Good. All right. All right. 1, 2. And Rand's not here, so we can't do him. Okay. Let's go on to the next section. Let me just demonstrate the section I want you to work on next. All right, that section there. So what I want you to do, now we're going to go through the first couple of moves here, and then next weekend we'll go through the next moves past there, and I'm going to have you guys analyze them. So Catherine does not have very good light on her. I only kind of see her in silhouette. So I'm less likely to, that's a little better, Catherine, yeah. But I'm going to call on Jill right now because Jill's very well lit. Yes, much better. Gorgeous. Okay. All right. So, Jill, to that next section, it's not a matter of having the right answer. It's just a matter of doing the analysis live, right? All right, what am I doing? Where am I winding up? Where am I hitting, etc.? So go, do that section.
You want me to call out or?
I want you to do it so that we can all share it.
Oh, okay.
So yes, call it out.
Winding up, hit, winding up, hit, winding up, hit. This one is kind of confusing to me because it's kind of a wind up and hitting.
Uh-huh.
Wind up, hit.
Okay, so do it again. We're going to spend plenty of time on these, so take your time. And let's count them. I want you to count how many yin and yang cycles you see in there. Kevin's keeping score.
Should I call it out?
Yes?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so every yin and yang cycle has to have both yin and yang. So let's slow down, all right? Let's take it out of fourth gear, put it in second gear, maybe even put it in granny gear, right? First gear. And do this very slowly. Watch yourself while you're doing it and call out where the coiling in, the yin, and the uncoiling out, the yang is. Do it very slowly.
In, coiling out. In, going out. In, coiling out. In, coiling out.
Okay, again, do it at half that speed.
Okay,
very slowly, and watch yourself while you're doing it.
that's really hard. Okay, coiling in.
No, stop. Stop. All right. Now stop. Go right back to neutral. Go back to neutral. All right. Again, very slow.
In,
All right. So for you, this is yin. All right. Okay. Now go.
out.
Why? Why? I'm going to ask you guys a lot of whys.
Because it's a hit. I
What,
mean,
is it a hit?
uh,
How are you hitting? This is what I mean. You need to know the Shin Yi.
yes.
The Shin Yi is the mental intention. All right. Watch me do this same little section. This is not fair because I've been doing this for 30 years. You haven't been. Nevertheless, right? Watch. All right. What is this? Yin or yang? Yin or yang?
I guess that's yan then. If you, or it's
Yin.
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 Yin. Yang.
No.
All right.
Okay,
Yin. Yang. All right. What is this?
yin,
What is this?
yan.
Okay. There's only the form is like a musical score. You guys are all musicians. You can read the score, right? I mean, we can write all this down and you can read it, but that doesn't mean you can play it. Because when you play a score, you have to know when you breathe in and when you breathe out. Right? You have to know where you go pianissimo, right? And where you really want to exert yourself a little bit. So you have to understand the inside of the score. You have to understand what the composer, in this case, the composer is actually a tradition. This is a traditional form that was developed over hundreds of years and has had many, many changes over that time, right? So you can't just copy the outer movement. That's not the music, right? The music is hidden inside that. The outer physical form is just like a shell. It gives some structure to the thing, but the magic is inside there. And you have to find that. It's not easy to do. Right? And ultimately, it's about soul. Have you got some soul that you can put into this? But even a soul guitarist or a soul singer, their technique, they have a lot of technique. They don't just randomly move. All right? Can you see the yin? Yang. Yeah, Kevin.
So here's a 443-page book where all the movements are described in excruciating detail, but it still doesn't get to what Malcolm's trying to say here.
You can read those books, guys. You can read them if you want to. I could never read them. I tried a couple of times. They're excruciatingly painful to try to read them. And Kevin, does that one have like still photos or drawings? Yeah. So it's like You cannot find the form in those books, period. You just can't do it.
I'm still laughing because I found a book on push hands. I did not buy it.
The illustrated canon of Chen style Tai Chi goes through the whole form, move by move by move, and it has all these drawings and little arrows and all this stuff, but it doesn't do you any good. Yeah, Kevin's got one too.
Now here's a
Yeah,
push
he's
hands.
got Doisho.
Yeah, this is push hands. I've also got the other one.
If you already know the form, if you're already pretty damn good at it, going through those books can supplement what you know with some information and some hints from the past. But to try and learn through a book is ridiculous. You can't do it. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is, Master Zhang never did this. He never did yin and yang cycles with us. All right? I'm trying to do it because it's a way to try and move you forward through the medium of video here. All right? Wind up. Hit. 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 All right? Clear? Now here the thing is I don't want to go through here and just say this is what it is. I want you guys to be able to find it. All right? So it's like I don't know why this image came up, but I was watching some paleoanthropologists hiking through I don't know, one of the countries in Africa, and looking for bones, right? And they were in the area where Lucy was found 20 years ago. All right, and there's 5 or 6 of them, and they're kind of spread out over there, and it's just sort of sand and rock. I mean, there's not even any plants or anything. All right. And they said you'd think it would be the easiest thing in the world. It's almost impossible to see these. The people who can see it are the black guys who have been working there with these white guys for generations now. And they'll just, they're just walking along. They'll walk along, and they're right there. And they bend down, and there's some, like a tiny little knuckle bone or something. But the point is they've got eyes. They can see this stuff. And that's really the secret of learning Tai Chi, is to develop eyes, or ears, or whatever it is it takes. All right? So, all right? What Jill did is not wrong. This is a process. Okay, Jill, do it again. Even though I've sort of spoiled this one by going through and talking about how the way that I see, that's how I see the form. It isn't necessarily how Grandmaster Feng would see it, or how Kevin would see it, or how you will see it. But depending on how you see it, there has to be some logic to it. Go.
Right. wind up, hit, wind up, hit, up, hit, up, hit, wind up, hit.
Okay, so how many did you do? Go through them again and count them.
Okay.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so go through these very slowly and tell me for each one of those what the Shin Yi is. What are you trying to do? What is the purpose?
All right. Let's see. Uh, Grabbing somebody's arm,
No, watch.
pushing.
Yeah, you're just pushing someone. This actually can be a strike.
Uh,
Huh. Okay, go on.
Pushing. Uh,
Yeah, now stop, stop,
mhm.
stop. Right now, there's a vacancy there, right? You don't know what you're doing. That should tell you something, all right? Where there's a vacancy, when you're watching yourself and you get to a place where there's just a hole, now you know, okay, I don't actually understand this right here. I need to fill in this hole. So I'm going to ask my teacher, or I'm going to talk with one of my classmates, or I'm going to figure it out myself somehow. And that's that way for everybody. And that's why it takes years to get the form, because you're going to find so many holes in it. All right. It was the same for me. All right. All right. Again, you got this one. Boom. All right. Now you've got some Shin Yi. You understand what you're doing, and there's the Yin and the Yang. Now go on to the next one again. Repeat that.
So probably pushing somebody away.
Are you sure?
Well, it's kind of hard when you don't have someone aggressing you, but
Watch.
uh, there you're pushing.
1, 2. All right. There's just 2 there. What you're doing is this, Jill. 1, 2.
Oh,
All right. So that's it could be, but then it would have to look like this. Does it look like that?
no.
No.
So it's still winding up.
Yeah, it's still winding up. Watch my Danshan. When I'm down here, the Danshan is already over here. If I was going to hit, if I was going to come up like this and then I was going to go down and hit, my Danshan would be down there. All right, watch. All right, no, but watch what it actually is. It's not down there. It's over here. Now it's going to go down there. I don't know. I don't know whether this is going to work or not. What do you think, Kevin?
It's a lot of information, and you're trying to do words where you really have to experience it. For me, it does, because now I can see you expand, contract. I can see your Dantian move, and I know enough of the Shinyi that it's making sense to me.
But Kevin's also been doing this. How long you been doing this now? 15 years?
It's 2008.
Wow.
It does help. It does help.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right.
It's just that it's gonna be slow, but it does. I mean,
it's going to be slow. And guys, please take to heart that there's nothing right or wrong. This is a process of learning. And
yeah,
you can't just automatically know. I wish you could just automatically know all this stuff. I couldn't either. Seriously, I was a very slow student. I was a very slow student because I grew up in the Midwest where you're not even in your body. All right. Well, maybe you and I share a little of that, Jill. Right? We're not quite in our bodies. Although I think it's better now than it was when I grew up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, what I've been discovering, because I've had chronic pain all my life, it's really split.
What do you mean by split?
The mind and body.
Mind body split. Yeah.
So you're getting frustrated because you think we're not getting it, but we are getting it. It is going to be slow. It is going to be slow, and I think this is the right path to take because I don't see any other choice over Zoom.
Well, I mean that's kind of part of the problem. I'm not frustrated with you guys. What I'm frustrated with is maybe I'm expecting too much. Maybe we need to take smaller steps to get there.
No.
But Catherine says no.
No, I think it's good the way you did it, Jill, explaining what she thought about the yin and yang cycles. I think it's good to start with a student who doesn't know, I mean, who doesn't get it right away. And then you do explain that we were right or we were wrong, or explaining the Xin Yi. And I think everything put together by Zoom, you have no choice. And it's just the way it is. So
if we were together in the same room, I could do a little push hands with each of you very gently. Sometimes I would be the young person. Sometimes you would be the young person, and you would intuitively understand a little bit more about what's going on. But okay, I'll take your word for it then that this is a good thing to do. Let's look at, because we're running out of time already again today. Let's look at this section. Right? Wind up. Right? Watch. All right? Wind up. Hit. Wind up. Hit. Wind up. That's pressing down, but you can think of it as hitting. Wind up. Hit. Wind up. Hit. Hit. Sometimes, I mean, I'm using the terms wind up and hit, but hopefully you get the idea. Sometimes the hitting is really dramatic, right? Boom! All right, you understand that's a hit. But do you understand this one?
Yeah.
That's the hit. Just that. All right? I mean, you could say wind up an application. It's just application is such a long word, right? All right. Wind up application. Wind up application. Wind up application. That's what the whole form is. It's just winding up an application, winding up an application. And if you don't see that, then you don't really see the inside of the form. So this is this is to train your eyes, your intuitive sense of what is going on. All right? Oh, I've told you this before. Most people just do this move like this. They don't think about wind up and then hit. But that's actually a really beautiful move. Right? You don't even have to do it in the outer physical body. It can be so gentle you hardly even see it. But think about if we were all musicians. What I'm saying is we've got a bar of music. So it's got 8 notes in it, right? And I'm saying pay a little attention to that note. It doesn't have to be boom, big and strong. It can be very gentle, but it's there. There's some awareness of it. Sometimes winding up is actually going up. You're going up and out. That seems just the opposite of winding up. But what you're doing is creating a little room, and now you're going to use that room. And again, you create a little room, and then you use that room. So there's more than one way to wind up. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to the next little section. I'm going to have Catherine do this, but let me demonstrate what I want you to work on. Just that. Go, Catherine. Analyze it out loud.
Mm.
Tell us where you're winding up, tell us where you're hitting.
Wind up. Hit. Wind up. Hit. Wind up. Hit.
Very good, right? So she was analyzing, I could see her watching herself. What am I doing? Okay, I'm winding up, I'm hitting. Now she missed one.
Yeah, I knew it.
Good. But this is the process. All right. Let me, since we're short on time, I'm just gonna, go ahead, Catherine, call them out then. Go ahead.
Wind up. Hit.
Yes?
Wind up. Hit. Wind up. Hit. Wind up. Hit.
Yes?
4.
Yes. There's 4.
Hmm.
Now, guys, don't get trapped in the language. A hit, that's why I was saying, really what you ought to say is application. It's just application is such a long word, right? Why I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to actually demonstrate the applications, okay? That's not a hit with a fist. That's just a punch is coming in. You catch the punch at the wrist, you follow at the elbow or the shoulder, and you move them aside. That's the second one. Third one, someone's kicking towards your leg. Block their kick. Fourth one, that's actually a chin joint lock, right? Someone puts their hand on your chest, like this, right? You trap them. And then you come up under their arm and you catch them between your two arms. That's the Shin Yi. It helps to understand the Shin Yi. But nevertheless, even though, Catherine, of course, we've done this before, so maybe there's some memory still in there. Nevertheless, Catherine was watching herself, and right, the first time she got 3, the second time she got 4. That's more correct. All right, now that you know that, now you know something about your breathing technique. Because when you're winding up, you should be breathing in. When you are exerting energy outward, you should be breathing out. Think about this. Imagine, I always have this same imagination. You're at like an old church with great big wooden doors, 10 feet high. And you got to close one of those big heavy doors. I mean, you can do it, but they're heavy. When you take hold of the door and you push that door, do you want to breathe in or do you want to breathe out? Try it yourself.
Out.
You will breathe out. All right? If you try to breathe in, it just doesn't work. Breathing in and breathing out when you're winding up or when you're applying it is not some weird doctrine. It's just the way we work. All right? When you all right? So this bucket is full of bird seed for our birds out back, right? So that's probably about 20 pounds. So it's not real heavy. But suppose I want to pick that up. I won't even think about it, but what I will do is breathe in and then breathe out. I will not even think about it. That's just the way human beings act. So one of the reasons you have to practice this in Tai Chi and Qigong is you're doing actions that are not natural. How many of you naturally do a movement like this? All right? Have you ever done that naturally? and yet you have to make it natural. It has to become natural. So the only way to do that is to break it down and then apply just the natural rules to things. All right, so I think we should leave it there today. I know you guys all practiced yesterday afternoon and yesterday evening and probably this morning before classes too, right? So practice the completion of this move. And the next move for Saturday, next Saturday. And that's a long, complicated move. There's a lot of pieces in that move. There's a lot of yin and yang cycles. See if you can find them, and also see if you can understand the rationale of them. Okay, guys. Have yourselves a great day. We'll see you next Saturday.
Thank you.